People, what up? Welcome back to the channel, man. Y'all, it's your boy 218. Y'all already know what time it is. Another little balance patch video, balance update, Marvel Snap balancing, man. And we got a real cool patch, real interesting patch right here, man. I think they were targeting me with this patch. I'm not gonna lie, but we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. So yeah, before we even get to the video, y'all be sure to like, comment, or just like and sub, man. It's free. It's free, right? And it helps the channel out a lot. But yeah, let's get straight into it though. So we got Widow's Bite, so they buff Black Widow, right? We got White Tiger got buff. We got Forge. They like let's call this a birth, right? They buffed him and they nerfed him at the same time. Alive got buff, and then, I mean nerf, my bad. And then Shuri got nerfed. So we just gonna go in order, go straight left to right all the way down, starting with Black Widow. So before we even read what they, what the reasons for this was, I definitely think she needed something, right? I felt like she wasn't really a threat, even on the Darkhawk teams, like the Ronin team, stuff like that. I just felt like the Widow's Bite, it didn't really do much, but I mean, just simply putting that -1 power just gives her a lot more utility, right? Like you can she means something now, right? I just felt like she didn't really mean anything at first. So let's read why they changed her first, and then let's get to the rest of the cards. Let me make it a little bit bigger, and yeah, let's put this right here. So Black Widow has languished for a while, seeing the majority of its play months ago during the first Darkhawk Renaissance. Widow is a tricky card to improve because we don't want a metagame filled with Black Widows either, but a bonus power seemed doable. We decided to plug it onto the Widow's Bite, which is a little worse than adding power to Black Widow, but better communicates the flavor of the bite and creates more interesting gameplay decisions around how the bite might affect which player reveals first. It's also slightly better if you're doing things like bouncing or destroying your own Black Widow, which is the kind of synergy driven gameplay we like to support. So yeah, it's interesting, man. Like I noted, they said they only saw her really on the first Darkhawk team. I think what this change might promote though is like it might promote like more destroy decks to be played, right? Because one way you're gonna be able to get rid of the Widow's Bite is with Carnage, Venom, or Deathlock, right? So we might see a little bit of destroy go up because of this. But overall, man, we haven't really seen Darkhawk like that in the meta for a very long time, so it just makes that deck a little bit stronger. So y'all might get to see that style of deck a little bit more. Might get to see Ronin a little bit. And yeah, man, I don't think this is too over the top. I really like this change, man. Y'all let me know what you think of the Widow's Bite change. And yeah, let's get to the Tiger Spirit from White Tiger, man. So I like this change a lot, man. I really think White Tiger is one of the coolest cards, but it's just so unfortunate you don't really get to see her like that outside of like the very rare occasion you see like White Tiger plus Wong plus Odin, which I feel like a lot of people really don't use like that anymore. But I think this targeted me, man, because if y'all haven't seen, I'm doing my Pool 1 series and I'm using like an ongoing team, so now I got to deal with these buff Tigers, man. Come on, man. But all jokes aside, I really like this change. Let's see why they did this. See why they did this. Okay, let's see. So White Tigers, a fun card that most frequently feature in early game combinations with Wong and Odin, but the amount of power and board space taken up didn't quite suit the card for higher level play. We're adjusting the strength of the Tiger Spirit up a touch because we like the bits of synergy White Tiger can have with cards like Mr. Negative and Ravonna Renslayer. As a 5/1, we prefer to maintain that as well as the gulf between where the card gets played and where the power winds up. This change should make White Tiger a more interesting consideration for more decks without moving it to the top of the metagame. Yeah, man, I really like this change, man. I like their reasoning. She's really like a 5/8 card now with the potential to be like 5'6" or no, she's really a 5'9", right? With the potential to be like 5'17", or even higher than that, man. On top of that, you can't Shang-Chi the Tiger Spirit, which is really good. So they didn't give it too much power. And yeah, man, I really like this. Unfortunately, though, I don't think that you're really gonna see it like that on Mr. Negative. And the reason for that is because, since Mobius came out, he killed Mr. Negative, bro. I'm not gonna lie, that card, that whole archetype is dead. So they gonna have to do something about Mobius to see, White Tiger cards like that on that style of a deck. But I mean, it's still a good change, and I really like how they're doing this, man. These first two cards were a hit. But let's talk about the miss, right? Let's talk about the miss, and that miss is Forge, man. If y'all are super OGs, when I was like less than 50 subs, man, I was clowning on this card any chance I could get. And I've come to love this card ever since they gave it a buff. But now like I said, they birthed the card. They gave birth to a new card, and that is a 1 power, 1 cost Forge with +2 power on his ability. So like I said, it's a buff and a nerf at the same time, and the reason for that is, this previous Forge that they just changed is really strong on teams like Patriot, that like new Patriot Brood team. He's better on destroy decks because you can power up your your Venom, your why is my mind blanking? Your Venom, your Carnage, your Nimrod, right? He was really good, man. Just that +3 made such a huge difference, but now it's back to +2. So, but at the same time, since it only costs 1, you could use him potentially on turn 6 with, like a strong 5 cost card to get some really big power on the last turn. And he can still do everything he was doing, but just not to the same degree. But yeah, let's read why they. And I didn't think he was broken though. That's the thing. Like, I thought he was just fine where he was. But I mean, let's read why they changed him, right? Okay, so we got Forge right here. Let's go ahead and read. It's been real. It's been fun. It's even been real fun. But ultimately, Forge was just a little too good at dealing out power in conjunction with cards like Brood. Because the card is pretty enjoyable on both sides, and the issue is really just the raw amount of power it could add to the game, we decided to move down to 1/1 and +2 rather than steal a power from the ability for Forge and go 2/2. This makes Mr. Sinister a clean curve play and lets Forge slip into a variety of other easy combinations, but reduces the ceiling of how much total power he can make. We'll keep an eye on whether this new cost makes Forge more dangerous in conjunction with Beast and Falcon. Ooh, I didn't even think of that. But we're optimistic that those decks will be fun for the metagame. So yeah, let's just touch on that Beast and Falcon. So I don't really think that Beast will be too much of an issue, and the reason for that is the same reason why Mr. Negative is not an issue, is because of Mobius, right? A lot of people run Mobius. I feel like Mobius is like that armor, that Cosmo style of card, that Shang-Chi, one of those type of cards you could throw on any deck, and it'll wield results for you, and it has the potential to counter your opponent. So I don't think that Beast himself would be too much of an issue. I've beaten so many like bounce teams just with Mobius because they can't reduce the cost of their cards. So Sarah's not working, Beast's not working, right? I mean, Falcon is going to be very good with Forge because you now have another card that he works with, right? On top of that, you can also put Forge. He can now work with Khazar to make him 2/2. He now benefits from that new location where if you put a 1 cost card, they get +2 power. But now he could be killed by Killmonger, right? So Like I said, man, it's a buff and a nerf. We're gonna see whether this is a whether it makes them over the top for something that I'm not even thinking of. Y'all let me know in the comments if I'm like missing out on anything, but as it comes to this card. But I think I pretty much touched on everything. So yeah, man, RP Forge. We gonna see you though. We gonna see you though, man. All right, so up next we got Alive. Now, okay, so they took 2 power away from Alive. Now, Alive is cheap if your opponent has the lead or if you have the lead. But at the same time, we mainly see him on Galactus teams. Alive is a card that you could throw on any team, but we mainly see him on Galactus teams. And Galactus got nerfed. I haven't lost to a Galactus deck since they nerfed him, right? And here's the thing. Me personally, man, if I'm not using a destroy deck, if I'm not using a very specific archetype, I like to keep armor or Cosmo on my teams at all times, right? So I wasn't really having issues with Alive. I understand that a lot of people don't play like me, right? A lot of people were having problems with this card, but I feel like since they nerfed Galactus, he's tame. But let's just go ahead and read the developer's notes, try to get a better understanding of it. So, oh, and that's a little typo right there. They put 5-5. Yeah, that's 6-5 and 6-3. Yeah, that's their mistake. But let's go ahead and read. So Alive's been here. Let me highlight again. Alive's been out for a while and has impacted the metagame in a big way. We expected Alive to see play in a lot of decks prizing 6-cost cards while also punishing the metagame to reward playing the board more aggressively, which in turn weakens Shang-Chi. And indeed, all that came to pass. Players are jockeying for the right to reveal first much more often now, whereas in past metagames it was often the exact opposite. That said, Alive's overall play rate is a touch high due to how easily it slots into many decks, and 5 power has been proven a tough breakpoint for some potential countermeasures like Doombot. This adjustment makes Alive easier to catch when contending for close locations while maintaining its purpose as an incentive to push power into play during the first 5 turns of the game. Yeah, so they didn't even really mention Galactus. They just said it was, it was too broken, you could throw it on any team. And that 3 power, so even if you do have the lead at the end of the game, that 3 power might not be enough for you. So you just can't, just play it in the same brain dead way that was played previously. But like I said, man, I wasn't really struggling against this card, but just trying to, think outside of my experience. I think it's pretty good for the game. I think just an auto win on the last turn is cheap. With 5 extra power and you destroy your opponents. So yeah, I think it's a good change, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think. And that's it for Alive. So last but certainly not least, man, we got Shuri. They keep nerfing this card, man. They might as well just make her 4-0 at this point, I feel like, because you're already getting like a 16 power vision. You're already getting like a 28, 26 power red skull. Then you get your Taskmaster off like you're already getting like a 12 power Nimrod when you run Shuri. So it's they might as well just take all her power away, because it's really the combo that hurts. It's really not her. So I mean, I don't really care for this because, like I said, man, it's not her. It's what she does, right? But let's go ahead and read why they changed her. While the Shuri archetype has often flirted with our thresholds for balance over the last few months, it hasn't emphatically crossed them for more than days at a time. However, it's been floating at or near the top for the last few months on internal data, and we think that makes the deck ripe to get a small haircut. A key element of fighting a Shuri deck is often winning the lane in which the namesake card is played, so removing a power from Shuri affects the archetype more than removing power from many other cards would, with the exception of Red Skull, of course. We expect this change to pull Shuri down just a hair, ensuring these decks are in the mix for best deck, but wearing the crown a bit less consistently. I understand what they're saying, and I just disagree simply for what I just said. You're either gonna play Shuri with Vision, either gonna play Shuri with Red Skull, or you're either gonna play Shuri with Nimrod, right? And in Nimrod's case, you're not trying to win that lane, you're trying to win the other two lanes. In Red Skull's case, you're going to win that lane because Red Skull is way too strong. You know what I'm saying? And then in Vision's case, even if you don't win that lane, you can still move to another lane and then you're still going to get your Taskmaster off. So I really don't think this change does anything, right? You're still going to be countering Shuri the same ways that you were previously, and that's by, you know, getting lucky and playing your Cosmo in the right spot, or just hoping they don't pull Red Skull, you know, Typhoid Mary, whatever type of Sauron card or a card that Sauron enables, right? So this really doesn't do anything. Just make her 4-0, man. You know what I'm saying? Her power means nothing when, you know, the cards that she enables just become way more cheap after, you know, they benefit from her ability. But man, y'all let me know if I'm lying about that. That's gonna be the end of this video. I hope y'all enjoyed it, man. If you made it all the way to the end, just go ahead and sub, man. Just leave me a like. It's free, like I'm saying. Y'all let me know what y'all think of these changes as well. And yeah, man, that's gonna be it, and I'll see y'all next time.